Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're joining me today in today's live lecture from Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Eke Market Day in the 11th month of the Igbo lunar calendar called Onwa Ajana. And today's date in the Roman Catholic calendar is 12/24/2024. Remember, in Colonial Mahadum, we always encourage you to use your naturally given common sense, which we call Ako Nuche in Igbo language. Also, note that the colonial brainwashings in schools, churches, newspapers, social media, and other major media houses are partly why Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University was set up to present issues on how you should be seeing it from Biafran and African perspectives. That is how it affects you and me. Because other media houses, everything they are presenting to you, both in schools, in the churches, in the newspapers, is to benefit them and not you. And therefore, join, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our lectures, comment, and most importantly, share to your children and grandchildren and to your friends and well-wishers, because all the lectures we are packaging here are being presented from Biafran and African perspectives. And today, we shall be presenting another explosive lecture, the type of lectures that our people don't want to hear. And that was why Nkolo Mahadum is set up, so that we can present some lectures you don't even think about, or something you just see things, you don't look deep. We look deep at Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. That's why we have chosen this topic today. And the topic of our lecture today is that Christmas is a colonial culture imposed on us by colonial masters for their benefit. Today's lecture, the title of today's lecture is that Christmas, the one you are getting ready to do tomorrow, is a colonial culture imposed on us, Africans, and other cultures by colonial masters for their own benefit. And you can tell from the date, today's date is Eke Market Day. Tomorrow, which is Oye Market Day. Tomorrow that you are preparing for Christmas, the date in the Igbo calendar is Oye Market Day. It's not Christmas, because Christmas is a colonial culture. And so, what you should understand is that, except for the Papal Bull, which was issued by Pope Alexander VI on May 4th, 1493, which the Catholic Church at that time called the Voyage of Discovery. This Papal Bull played a central role in the creation of the world order as we have it today, which eventually led to slavery, scramble, and partition of Africa. So when you hear about scramble, it was when the Europeans are fighting Africans, killing them, subduing them. And eventually the partition was when they put the map on a table in Germany in 1884 and carved all the colonial boundaries we have today that they call countries. That eventually led to colonization and then imposition of leaders on Africans and other cultures, including killing most of our leaders, both men, women, ordinary men and women who are opposing them, kings and other leaders. Finally, led to after they have subdued the Africans with their powerful weapons and organization, then they imposed their foreign culture, which included government structures. You know, the government structures we have today, the local government, the state, and the country, they're all artificial. That's not our system. That's not our structures. So they imposed their foreign government structures and systems, like the one you call democracy in Nigeria. They're all foreign systems. And then they imposed education, judiciary, business and banking and finance, fashion, language, and religion. So we are emasculated. We are buried inside colonial culture. The life of Africans are today buried, inserted inside colonial culture. That is what one thing Mohammed wants you to know today. And so when we go to the foreign colonial Western religion that came to Africa, it actually came to Nigeria in the 15th century. The foreign colonial religion came to Africa, came to Nigeria in the 15th century. And then the first church was set up in Badagry by Henry Townsend in 1842. Then thereafter, the second church was set up in Calabar by the Presbyterian Church in Calabar in 1846. So before the arrival of these foreign churches in our land, our people have been living their life, worshiping our own type of religion. That is one thing we want you to know at Colonial Wisdom University. We have been living our life worshiping the type of religion that we worship before the arrival of the foreign colonial Western religion in our land. And what does all of them do? Because you have different types. Different brands are now in Africa and in our land. The Roman Catholic brand, the Roman Catholic Church, you know, all the churches you have around, they call it Roman Catholic, which means it's a Roman Catholic, Roman brand. It's owned by Rome. Roman Catholic, owned by Rome. The Protestants, or the one they call Anglican Church, is a brand name owned by England. And the Presbyterian, the one they call the Presbyterian, is the one that comes from Scotland. And the Pentecostal also came from the United States. As you can see, the foreign colonial Western religion was packaged in brands for the benefit of the country that have that brand. Roman Catholic Church for Rome, that is Italy. The Protestants and the Anglican for the England. The British Presbyterian for Scotland. Pentecostal for the United States. What does all of them have in common? They all brainwash you and give you false hope. They give you that false hope that somebody will do something for you. But eventually, nobody does anything for anybody. You have to wake up and hustle. If you do not wake up and hustle every day, you cannot achieve anything in life. And therefore, the Christmas celebration that you are about to celebrate tomorrow, called on the 25th of the Roman Catholic calendar, It's just like New Year. New Year is also in the Roman Catholic calendar. It's just like Easter. Easter is also in the Roman Catholic calendar. It's just like the one that tell you Mother's Day. Mother's Day is in the Roman Catholic calendar. And the one that tell you Lover's Day, February 14th. These are just temporary celebrations that give you temporary satisfaction. Just it gives you temporary satisfaction. Like the Christmas you are about to celebrate tomorrow, it's giving you just temporary satisfaction, where somebody will tell you Merry Christmas, and your head will go wide. Some will sing Christmas song, and some will buy gifts. You feel good buying gifts and giving somebody, and somebody feels good getting that gift. You dance, you take time off your business. All this you can do without doing it at this time, because we are following the Catholic calendar. That is why we are ignorantly doing those things. It doesn't mean that the Chinese does the same thing. It doesn't mean that the Indians does the same thing. It doesn't mean that the Russians have the same calendar. It doesn't mean that the Arabs have the same calendar. No. But because we are following the Roman Catholic calendar, that is why we are meant to follow all those celebrations, including this Christmas that you are about to celebrate tomorrow. But does the Christmas celebration solve the major problems that will change our lives, especially in Africa? The answer is no. Because we have had so many Christmas celebrations, but none of them have dismantled the colonial boundaries we have in Africa. The colonial boundaries, which were drawn by the colonial masters, they enclose people who are not supposed to be together. Like in Nigeria, the Oduduwa nation is a different culture, it's a different nation. The Biafran nation is a different nation. The Middle Belt is a different nation. And the North, the Arewa, is a different nation. But they put all of you together as one country. It's as a result of that colonial boundary. And the colonial boundary also helps them to impose leaders on the people. So dismantling of colonial boundaries is one of the major problems we have in Africa. And if Christmas celebration does not stop that, does not address that issue, then Christmas celebration is a temporary satisfaction. Also, millionaires, some Western millionaires, for example, Bill Gates, always come to Africa to experiment on vaccines on our people and other drugs on our people, because he is heavily invested in the vaccine manufacturing companies with the attendant deaths that are occurring in our land. Many of the millionaires from investors from the Western countries, from foreign countries, they come to Africa to experiment on our people. Also, many foreign companies also come to Africa to exploit our minerals, with the resultant child abuse, wars, arms proliferation, and killings that goes on every day and every day. The next thing that Christmas celebration does not address is IMF and World Bank conditionalities, which have kept so many African countries poor, which has made so many Africans to be migrating to foreign land. The last point we want you to look at is the killings in the Congo, in Sudan, in Biafra land. In Biafra land is a special case where you have roadblocks everywhere. The most militarized zone in the world is Biafra land. The killings in northern Nigeria. And if you go outside Africa, the killings and wars in Lebanon, in Syria, in Ukraine. And so, this Christmas celebration, we want you to reason, because Colonial is set up to make you to reason. Think about it. Anything, any celebration, any activity that is not addressing these major issues that we have, the major issues such as dismantling of colonial boundaries, some millionaires from the Western world or other parts of the world coming to Africa to experiment on our people, foreign companies coming to our land to exploit our resources, IMF and World Bank conditionalities that is keeping our people poor, and the killings in the Congo, Sudan, Biafra land, northern Nigeria. And if you go outside Africa, Ukraine war, the Syrian war, Lebanon, and so on and so forth. And so, because we want to be keeping everything short here, what you have to take away is that the Christmas celebration we are about to celebrate tomorrow is a colonial culture imposed on us by the colonial masters for their benefit. From the Papal Bull that started it, which was issued by Pope Alexander VI on May 4th, 1493, that led to slavery, scramble and partition of Africa, colonization, imposition of leaders on Africans, killing of African leaders who opposed them, imposition of foreign culture, government structures and systems, education, judiciary, business, banking and finance, fashion, language and religion. And Western religion actually came to Nigeria in the 15th century. The first church set up in Badagry in 1842, followed by another in Calabar in 1846. So before then, our people had been living their lives. And so all of them, different brands. The one from Rome is called Roman Catholic Church. The one from Scotland is called Presbyterian Church. The one from from England is called Protestant or Anglican Church. And all of them brainwashes our people and gives them false hope. And the Christmas you are about to celebrate tomorrow gives you temporary satisfaction. Temporary satisfaction like Merry Christmas, Christmas songs, Christmas carol, Christmas gathering, this and that, dancing. But at the end of the day, does not solve the problem we have in Africa, such as colonial boundaries, testing of vaccines and other things on our people, foreign countries coming to exploit our minerals, and attendant child abuse and wars and arms proliferation that goes on with them. The IMF and World Bank forcing and keeping African people poor, and the killings in the Congo, Sudan, Biafra land, northern Nigeria, and other parts of the world. This is what we want you to know, to be thinking. Do not just be following and singing hallelujah without understanding the root causes of what you are celebrating. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great day. Thank you.